Happy holidays.
I'm gonna go pick up the food.
Okay. So I want to come on, guys, before the holiday season passes us by and do some consultations for anyone interested in developing adult residential facilities, elderly facilities. I've just been trying to come on more often. I know my frames have been more sporadic, more so than anything, but I figure sometime is better than no time. If you guys are able to join us, great. So what I wanted to talk about while I got you guys here, and for the people that may have tons of questions, I've been getting a lot of questions circled around experience and what type of experience you need. So what I want to do is I'm going to just pull up the experience qualifications for the regional center. I'm going to pull it up for Inland Regional Center. And from that regional center, it's going to be the same across the board. But I think it's important that you guys have an idea of the experience that you need in order to develop a facility. Good afternoon, mechanic. So that's what I'm going to take my time to do. I'm going to just pull up the regional center requirements for the qualifications. So I'm going to just Google it right quick just to show you guys how. This is regional center administrator requirements. And I want it for the regional center. So let's go here to Inland Regional Center. Let me make it a little bigger. So you can see the Inland Regional Center, these are the qualifications that you need in order to even to sit in their orientation, the qualifications. So this first one here is you need proof of direct care experience. And that experience, volunteer work is not accepted. Experience must be within the last 3 years, and then IRC will verify this experience. That's the first thing you need to know. And then from the rest of these, this is based on the level of care. So if you're interested in opening a level 2, you need to have experience in a level 2 facility, and you have to submit 6 months of payroll to verify that experience. If you want to open a level 3, you need to have 9 months experience providing direct care service, and you need to submit 9 months of payroll. If you're interested in opening a level 4, you need to have a minimum of 12 months of experience, and you need to submit 12 months of payroll to verify that experience. Experience must be in a level 4 facility. A couple other things that you need. The main thing that I want you guys to know is this first part here, is that the experience that you need. I think we all kind of getting this confused because we hear what people are telling us and their friends or their families, and they're just giving you guys the wrong information. You have to have some experience to develop a facility. Even if you can develop a facility without having the experience, guys, you still want to have some type of experience under your belt so that you know and understand how a facility should be ran. Now, some regional centers, and I know Inland has implemented this, is that the owner has to have experience too. So you guys that are just trying to dive into the business as owners, some of the regional centers are requiring that the owner, even if they employ a qualified administrator, the owner has to have that experience and background as well. So keep that in mind. I want to make sure we don't miss that point, is that owner has to have experience too. And then the bottom portion here is it's important, but it's not as important as those first 3 requirements. Only reason I say that because this stuff here, when you go to community care licensing, they're not as stringent or as strict on the requirement portion of it. You can meet the experience part of the qualification part very in various different ways that are not as intense as these top four things for the regional center. So you just need proof of you need to attend the orientation. I would take the orientation when I'm ready to submit an application. I wouldn't take it prior to be honest with you. You need an administrator certificate. If you have all this experience, you probably already have, or you're working towards your administrative experience. And then you need proof of DSP Year 1, which is Direct Support Professional. You need this training at a minimum in order to submit or to take this orientation through the regional center. You also need a professional resume, which demonstrates your experience, and then you need 3 letters of reference. Now this 3 letters, and then your copy of ID. Now this is for the Inland Regional Center. A lot of the other regional centers, their process is going to be the same, or it's going to be very similar to this process. So you can use this as a foundation for any regional center that you want to do business with, because you're going to have to meet these requirements in some form or fashion. So keep that in mind. As far as the licensing process of it, I wouldn't worry about the licensing process of it, or I wouldn't necessarily worry about the administrative certificate right away. What I want to get under my belt, or what I want you guys to do, is get the experience under your belt. And opposed to doing a level 2 or a 3, go ahead and do level 4. Get your experience in a level 4 facility, because then you can open up a level 2 or a level 3. You have more than enough experience and knowledge to do that. So I tell everyone, get your experience in a level 4 and see if this is the type of business that you want to operate, and see if there's longevity in it. Can you see yourself doing this for the next 15, 20 years? So as an owner, and I think this is a good thing, the regional center, some regional centers, not all of them, are saying that, hey, we want the owner to have the same amount of experience as an administrator. That's important, because as an owner, you should know what should be done in a facility, or how a facility operates. Not to say that you have to be the owner and you have to physically work there. They're saying that we want the owner to have the same background. So the same, if you open up some franchises, most franchises want you to work in the business for at least a year, doing all the different job functions, so that way you have a better understanding of how the business is ran. So really, I know this is not a franchise, but that concept rolls over to this type of business, where if you work in a facility, it does put you in a better position to understand what to expect from that administrator you hire. So any questions that you guys have as I'm kind of talking through and going through experience? If you guys have questions, this is live, so any questions you guys have, you can ask all your questions in regards to opening adult residential facilities, group homes, elderly facilities, assisted living facilities, whatever you guys may call them. I am a good resource for that. Been in the business for 28 years, providing different services, from consulting to developing facilities in the business. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and then I can go through and answer your questions. I think this is one of so you'd be surprised that a lot of people, they want the live streams, and they don't want to pay for the consultations. But when I do live stream, or when I'm dedicating time to doing this and it's for free, you'd be surprised on how many people will not show up. But they also, at the same time, they don't want to pay a fee to sit and do a consultation to learn the process and how to do it the right way either. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I guess we could just say it's human nature. If it's free, no one will show up. If you charge, everyone will show up. So hopefully I don't have to get to a point to where I charge for consultations or charge to view this information online. I don't want to. That's not what I'm here for, and that's not how I want to process through this. But Sometimes when you charge a fee, more people will show up and get their questions answered, and then they also come better prepared as well. I know some of you guys are consistent, and you guys consistently show up and get all your questions answered. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Chris, I worked with this population in Maryland for years, but not through Regional Center. Could that be applied towards the experience? Unfortunately, no. That experience has to be through a California Regional Center in order for it to qualify as experience. So it has to be through a Regional Center home in California. So no, Maryland will not count. Good question, though. So any question you guys have? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Once again, I'll send you guys my email as well, so you guys can send me questions via email. So work on getting your experience. That's all I can say. I'm going to say that over and over again. Get your experience, guys. Work in a facility. You need to work in a facility. You're looking for a facility. You guys can send me an email and I can help you look for facilities. Or I can give you a list, I should say. I'm not going to give you a job, but I'll help you look for facilities that you can potentially work at. If you can't give up the time to work in a facility, this is going to be a tough business. It may not be the business for you because you need the experience anyway. I don't have experience, but I have my certificate DSP1 and the orientation. I did this because I really want to help kids. The Inland Regional Center told me not to buy a house yet. Yeah, that is true. That is true, but about you need the experience. You need to work in a group home. How do you know if you'll even, I know you want to help, but how do you know if you'll like the business side of it? This business is more than just help. Yeah, they're going through the Burns report. They are. That is true. It'll open back up. Recommendation for structuring your liability insurance. Well, to be honest with you, there are no recommendations. The regional center tells you what type of insurance you need. They tell you exactly the insurance you need and you don't have a choice. So it's already structured in a way to where the insurance, it has to meet a minimum standard. And the regional center gives you that information. So you don't have to worry about trying to figure out what type of insurance you need, in other words, because they tell you what you need. Hibachi, I'm a real estate broker by trade, so I deal with the business stuff all day. Yeah, I mean, real estate brokers, not to take away from the business side of it, but um, running a facility is a whole nother beast. It's just something you just have to experience. You have to experience it to really understand it. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry about that. Had to go into the door. So, all right. Let me go back to this experience side, because this, like I said, this is the most important piece. This is where everybody that wants to get in the business, this is where they fall short. Besides this, the next piece where people fall short, just from the experience side, if you don't have the experience, that's one. The second thing that people fall short on is the money aspect. So money. That's the next thing. So money-wise, just to give you guys an idea, money-wise, you need to have three times operation expense. I didn't even put that in caps. 3 times operations expense in the business name. So just think of it this way. I'm going to say if it takes you $10,000 a month to operate a facility, you need to show $30,000 in the bank. So the average number, depends on the type of facility, but the average number that you need to show in a bank account is going to be anywhere from $50,000 to, depending on the type of facility, you're at $50,000 to about $80,000. That's at a minimum. That's what you're gonna have to. This is what you guys are gonna have to show in the bank. And it has to be in the business name. So a lot of people ask me, okay, how can I show this money? You just stick it in a checking account, and it has to be in the business name. So you can borrow the money, you can take a loan out on it, however you do it, it just has to be shown in that business account. So this is the second barrier. So the first barrier is people don't have the experience. The second barrier is, this is barrier number 2. Barrier number 2. Second barrier is people just don't have that, they don't have this money to show. And then there's a third barrier. The third barrier is, let me line this up a little better. The third barrier is property. That's the third barrier. So you got 3 barriers. First barrier of why people can't open homes. I'm frozen, huh? My video is frozen at least. Oh well. All right, so sorry, my video froze. Let me see. Let me fix this. Give me a second. So you guys can't see my video, but you can hear my voice. So you guys will get the idea. I don't know why my video went out all of a sudden. All right. So first barrier. This is number 1 barrier. Barrier number 1 is experience. I can't spell. So barrier number 1 is experience. Got to meet all these requirements. Barrier number 2, money. Barrier number 3, property. So if you can line these 3 things up, you can develop a facility typically. But if you're having a hard time lining these 3 things up, it's difficult to want to to take a step forward if you're not meeting at least these 3 barriers to developing any type of facility. So just to recap, barrier number 1 is experience. You got to have some type of experience depending on your level. Barrier number 2 is, do you have 50 to about 80K? Sometimes more, depending on the type of facility. And barrier number 3, do you have access to a property that you want to develop? So those are the 3 main ingredients. So I just wanted to come on and go through that information, because I get quite a few questions in regards to those things. About you, I set up a nonprofit to help group home raise money for their group homes. Is there a way to start off with less clients to reduce your monthly budgeting? Can you increase your capacity for clients? So mechanic, you can start off with less clients, but the issue is once you get that home license, when you get it licensed for a certain amount of clients. So you license it based on your capacity. So if you initially go in and you license it for less clients, then you would have to reapply to increase the capacity. You'd have to submit another application and go through the process all over again to increase your capacity. Yeah, it may not be as intense, it may not be as in depth, but still the inconvenience of applying all over again. And I see what you're getting at. Yes, if you apply for a capacity of 4, you would have to do your budget based on the capacity of 4. And if you want to increase that capacity, like I said, you would have to apply again. So that would be inconvenient, plus another application fee to community care licensing. So you want to keep that in mind as well. All right, so those are your 3 barriers. So that's all I wanted to come on today and just kind of give you guys more information about that, because this comes up quite a bit. I'll probably revisit this again and explain it a different way in a different video, because this is the number 1 question that I get. What experience, how much it takes, and then what are some of the barriers? And these are the 3 top barriers that I run into with most of my clients. So before you even sit with me for a consultation, I always say no sense in you paying for a consultation and wasting your money. Well, not necessarily wasting your money, but no sense you investing your money in a process that you can't even complete, because maybe this should be your checklist before you meet with me. 1, 2, and 3. Do you have those 3 things? That should be the stop. That's going to be my new rule. I just made up a new rule. Before you meet with me for a consultation, you have to meet these 3 barriers: experience, operations, and property. Then I think it's worth us having a conversation, because we actually can make process. Now, if you guys just want to meet with me just to get some ideas and pick my brain, yeah, go ahead and schedule a consultation with me. But other than that, these are the 3 things that you should have in place. All right, so I wasn't going to come on here for too long. I'm going to move on with my day. Let me see what other questions I have. I am in the licensing process and my analyst is not responsive. What should I do? How long? Depends on how long they had your paperwork. Have they had it longer than 90 days? That will be the question. Who's your analyst? What kind of facility are you trying to open? I just would have tons of questions for you. When did you submit it? What type of facility is it? Tons of questions. 3 months. Yeah, I've had her. ARF. She's probably on vacation now. She's probably on vacation. So, did you send an email? Have you guys reached out via email or phone? Which one? Oh, and why do I have my screen just blacked out on you guys? Should be showing something, huh? Nobody told me my screen was blacked out. Are you sure it's been over 3 months since you submitted your application? Yeah, you can. You just have to figure out who her supervisor is. You can submit a complaint or just try to get in contact with their supervisor. I would just get in contact with their supervisor, probably call the licensing office and ask to speak with their supervisor. Her supervisor should be. Has she responded with any paperwork?
She's like, well, I can't find anything. She's like, what do you want my manager? The manager came? I don't know.
All right, guys, I have to go. If you have any other questions, send me an email, and I'll be back on probably tomorrow, believe it or not. So, other than that, if you have any questions, send me an email. I'll put my email in the chat, and I will see you guys next time.